Guys, how's it going? Collier, welcome back to the channel, North Coast Constrictors, Ballito, South Africa. Today we're going to talk about getting into the recessive project. Let me cut right to the chase. Guys, recessives are expensive. They're more expensive than dominant and incomplete dominant genes. And if you want to get, they sell for more money. And so if you're a breeder and you want to get into the recessive project and you want to buy recessives as opposed to dominants, you're going to pay more. But then you're going to sell that snake, you're going to sell the hatchlings for more money. However, with recessive genes, you can do it on a budget. And the way to do that is you buy the heterozygous form of the snake. Now, the heterozygous form of the snake will come in 3 percentages. A 100% het, a 66% possible het, and a 50% possible het. Notice that I said 100% het, and I said 66% possible het and 50% possible het. Okay, I didn't say 100% possible het, because 100% het means exactly that. It is 100% heterozygous for that gene. Okay, if it's advertised as a 66% het, that is incorrect. It is possible het, 66% chance possible heterozygous for that recessive gene. If it says 50% possible het, it means it's 50% possible heterozygous for that gene. It is not 100% guaranteed. Okay, a 100% het will be more expensive than a 66% het. A 66% het will be more expensive than a 50% het, and a 50% het will be cheaper than a 66% het. And that's because your odds decrease the lower your percentage is. So if you want to breed recessives on a budget, but you want to take a chance and a gamble, because it's a smarty box, you never know what you're getting. Okay, you can buy cheap heterozygous het for a recessive gene. I'll take the 3 most popular or 4 most popular recessive genes: desert ghost, clown, pard, lavender albino. Okay, there's much more than that, but let's just take those genes for example. And the reason why I've chosen those genes are because I work with those genes. I also work with Harpo, okay, which is a recessive gene. But my main building blocks at North Coast Constrictors, my 3 main recessive genes, or 4 main recessive genes, is clown, desert ghost, pard, and lavender albino. Okay, those are my building blocks. Those are the snakes that I'm working with. And then I've obviously got a bunch of incomplete dominants and dominant snakes that I breed to those recessives, and we try and produce recessives, visual recessives with other genes. For example, a yellow belly pard, which is otherwise known as a pumpkin pard. All right, yellow belly being an incomplete dominant gene, but it's a visual incomplete dominant. And if you get a pard and you get a yellow belly pard, they look normal. A plain pard looks different to a yellow belly pard. You take it up a step further and you produce a double visual recessive. Let's say, for example, a desert ghost pard. Okay, you've got 2 recessive visuals. That's a very expensive snake. Let's take a snake that is a lavender albino pard. That's a double recessive. I have one here at the moment. I'm not going to disturb him because he is in that tub there, locked up with a female. Okay, he is a double recessive visual for lavender albino, recessive visual for pard. Okay, I also have a visual double het recessive axanthic pard, and he is currently in that tub over there breeding with a 100% het axanthic, 100% het pard female. Well, what I'm doing is I'm trying to produce more visual double het axanthic pard males and females, and I'm trying to produce visual lavender albino pards, otherwise known as dreamsicles. Okay, all right. The males are visuals, the females are 100% het. Okay, in the case of the pod, the exantic pod, the females that I'm pairing them up with happen to be double het 100% exantic pods. So they're not visuals, but they're 100% het exantic, 100% het pod. The male that I'm pairing them to is a visual exantic visual pod. Okay, so let's just punch in the odds for a pairing like that. Okay, because over here I've got my iPad and I'm opened up on Morph Markets and I've got what they call the ball path and gene calculator. So let's just type in and see what are the possible offsprings that I could get by breeding a visual recessive, or a double, in this case a double visual recessive, to a double 100% het recessive. So we have got an exantic, and there are different kinds of exantics. There's exantic GCR, exantic Jolliffe, exantic MJ, TSK, VPR, GSR, Jolliffe. Okay, sorry, I'm reading it, double reading. Okay, those are het. So my exantic line that I work with is exantic VPR, okay? So the male is a visual exantic VPR. He is also a visual pod, okay? So now, he is a visual for those genes. However, the females that he is pairing up to, and there are two, one in this tub and one in this tub, and they are both double het recessive exantic pods. So we'll put het exantic VPR, okay, and het parboiled. Okay, all right, boom, and let's hit the calculate button. And what I will get is, and we work in fours here, 1 in 4, 1 in 4 chance, so 25%, 25, 25, 25%. Okay, I've got a 1 in 4 chance, 25% of producing a visual exantic pod. Okay, because I'm pairing a visual to a double het. Okay, a double visual recessive het to a double het recessive. It can get confusing. Then I've got a 50% chance of producing a visual parboiled 100% het exantic VPR, a 25% chance of producing an exantic VPR 100% het pod, and a 25% chance of producing a 100% het exantic VPR 100% het parboiled. Okay, so to break that down for you, what it means is, and we'll start at the bottom, all the ones that don't show a visual copy of the exantic or the pod, they'll come out looking like a normal ball python, a wild type, just a normal brown and tan snake with alien in it. However, it will be 100% het for pod and 100% het for exantic VPR. Guaranteed, because the male is a visual 100% het pod, 100%, the male is a visual exantic VPR, 100% visual. The male is a visual exantic pod. Fuck. I kill myself. Okay. Then the other odds are, sorry, I don't edit, so you guys are probably pissing yourselves laughing at me. I get so tongue-tied sometimes. The other 25%, if you've now produced a visual exantic, okay, but you didn't hit the pod gene, okay, but you've got the visual exantic, okay, but it's 100% het for pod. So anything that comes out of there exantic, it's still going to be 100% het for pod. And then let's say you've now you produce some parboils out of there, but there's no exantic in it. In other words, it's not black and white, pod black and white, just like a normal pod. But it's still going to be a visual pod, 100% het for exantic VPR, and then the jackpot would obviously be a visual exantic pod. Okay, so that is what I'm going for in these two pairings here. Okay, there is a third female that I'm pairing that snake to, that male, that visual exantic pod, to a female down. Yeah, where is she? Anyway, she's a pastel exantic. Okay, she's in one of those subjects. She's a visual pastel exantic. She's not het for pod. She doesn't have any pod in her. She's just a single, a double gene, pastel incomplete dominant visual, exentic VPI. He's also pairing with her, okay? None of the babies are gonna come out visual pied. All the babies are gonna come out, hopefully, pastel exentic 100% het pied or exentic 100% het for pied. Pastel and fire, or fire on its own, or pastel and fire combined, firefly mixed with exentic is great because it keeps the blacks and grays black and gray, where an exentic on its own tends to brown out. Okay, so that is one of the projects that we're working on. We are also working on double recessive visuals at the moment, where we've got that male inside there, and he is a visual lavender albino pied, and he is pairing to a 100% het lavender albino, 100% het pied female. So let's punch in the genes there. And so he is a visual lavender albino, and he is a visual piebald, and she is a 100% het lavender albino, 100% het piebald, and boom, 25% chance of producing a visual lavender albino pied, otherwise known as a dreamsicle. Okay, then you got a 25% chance of getting a piebald, 100% het for lavender albino, or you get a lavender albino, 100% het for piebald, or you get a double het lavender albino piebald. So 100% het for lavender albino, 100% het for piebald. Okay, it is exactly the same as the exentic project, the exentic pied project, except instead of it being exentic, it's lavender albino pied as opposed to exentic pied. Okay, let's hit the Desert Ghost project. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any double recessive desert ghosts. I would love to get double recessive ghosts. Okay, desert ghosts. So what I'm working with is a male at the moment. The only breeding male that I've got is a breeding single gene visual desert ghost male. And I am putting him, and he's a big breeder. Okay, he's about 1,250 grams. He's a stud. He is locking up to 7 females at the moment. All these females are in these, I've got 20 females in these tubs here. 7 of them are pairing up, in there's about 5 in there, and there's 2 in here. Okay, now, out of that, okay, all the ones, I've got 2 of those snakes out of the 7 that are 100% het for desert ghost in the females. The male is a visual desert ghost. The females are 100% het for desert ghost, 2 of them. However, those females carry 2 extra visual genes on them, incomplete dominant genes and dominant genes. Both of them are visual pastel and visual bamboo, okay? Which means half the babies are gonna come out bamboo pastel, or pastel bamboo, or bamboo and pastel, or either bamboo or pastel, but 50% of their clutch will come out. And if they're not a visual desert ghost, because she's 100% het desert ghost, and he is a visual desert ghost, all the babies will be 100% het desert ghost, okay? But I've got a 1 in 20, I've got a 25% chance of hitting a visual desert ghost. I'm either gonna get pastel bamboo desert ghosts, or I'm gonna get bamboo desert ghosts, or I'm gonna get pastel desert ghosts, or I'm gonna get desert ghosts, or I'm gonna get bamboo het desert ghosts, or pastel het desert ghosts, or bamboo pastel het desert ghosts. Let's have a look and see what those odds are. So, desert ghost male paired to a pastel bamboo 100% het desert ghost. Now remember that I can double these odds up because I've got 2 females. Alright, now your odds drop big time. There's 8 possible offspring in this particular combination, okay? So I'm pairing up with 2 females there, so for me it now, instead of 1 in 8, it becomes a 1 in 4 because I've got 2 females. However, okay, The jackpot of that whole combination there will be Bamboo Pastel Desert Ghost visual. I've got a 13% with one female, one coupling, that male to one female for that particular pairing. I've got a 1 in 8 chance, 13% of producing a visual Pastel Bamboo Desert Ghost. Then I've got a 13% chance, 1 in 8 chance of producing a Bamboo Pastel 100% het Desert Ghost. All of the babies, if they're not visual, they're going to be 100% het for Desert Ghost because he's a visual Desert Ghost. Then I've got a 1 in 8 chance of producing a Pastel Desert Ghost, a 1 in 8 chance of producing a Bamboo Desert Ghost, a 1 in 8 chance of producing a Pastel 100% het Desert Ghost, a 1 in 8 chance of producing a Bamboo 100% het Desert Ghost, a 1 in 8 chance of producing just a plain Desert Ghost, and a 1 in 8 chance of producing just a 100% het Desert Ghost. You're never going to know until the eggs have come out and they've been laid and the eggs have pipped, and you've cut your eggs or you've let them pip and the babies are out, and then you can have a look at your hatchlings and you can see if you hit the jackpot. Okay, and for those of you in South Africa, and I have it under good authority from one of the top ball python breeders in the country that happens to also be working on this project. He is going to be going for it this year, and me too. If I do produce a Pastel Bamboo Desert Ghost visual, I will be the first breeder in South Africa to do so, or at least to advertise it or let it be known, because if you have produced one and you haven't told anybody, well, you're a very modest person. But as far as I know, nobody, and as far as this other breeder knows, and I'm not going to drop names, but if you're a South African breeder, trust me, he's a guy that if you spoke to and you know who he is, and if I mention his name, you will know who he is. If you know ball pythons in South Africa, he has told me that either he or I will be the first to produce a Pastel Bamboo Desert Ghost. Bamboo Desert Ghost has been produced, Pastel Desert Ghost has been produced, but a visual Pastel Bamboo Desert Ghost in South Africa has not been produced. I even looked on Morph Market America. I Googled the whole world looking for a visual Pastel Bamboo Desert Ghost, and guys, I couldn't find one. The closest I came to finding one was a Pastel Bamboo Enchi Desert Ghost. So that had one extra gene. It's far better snake, far superior. Here's a picture of it here. Okay. Guys, that is a 17-minute, 18-minute video of me waffling on of the projects that I'm working on and how I'm wanting to achieve visuals by breeding either visuals to or by breeding visuals to hets. Okay, you will notice that I have not, there's not one pairing there in those projects where it's a head-to-head pairing. Okay, the males are all powerhouse males. They are visual Axanthic pards, visual lavender albino pards, and visual desert ghost. Okay, now I will pull out, and this will be for my 2024 breeding season. This snake is going to breed. This is a powerhouse male that I've invested in. I'm going to end off the video showing you this male, because what I'm doing is I'm also doing building blocks for my Desert Ghost project, because the male single gene Desert Ghost is pairing up with 5 other females in my collection here that are all 3 and 4 gene dominant and incomplete dominant genes. So there's going to be no visual Desert Ghost, but they're all going to be 100% het for Desert Ghost. But they're going to be genes in there like fire and leopard and enchi and butter and spider and super pastel and fire and butter and yellow belly and genetic stripe. And the one project, that's a double het project that we're working on, because this girl inside this tub here, she is a yellow belly visual genetic stripe. Genetic stripe being recessive. Okay, so he is a recessive. That male single gene Desert Ghost, he's in the blue now. I'm not going to pull him out. This is what a yellow belly genetic stripe female looks like. Okay, So she's not just a plain genetic stripe, she has got yellow belly in her, but she's a genetic stripe, she's an absolute specimen. But when I breed her, and I have been locking her up to that visual desert ghost, all the babies are going to come out 100% het genetic stripe, 100% het desert ghost, and 50% of them will be yellow belly. Okay, and 50% of them will just be. And that is working on the double het project, because the aim in a couple of years' time is to breed those siblings back to each other. One of the double 100% hets to a female 100% het, or all of them, and see if I can hit the odds and produce a visual desert ghost genetic stripe, or a yellow belly desert ghost genetic stripe. That is a building block for a double recessive project. Then I have got this male here, which I'm going to try and get. Let me just open up his tub. He's been featured on many of my videos. This boy here is probably one of the most beautiful snakes you've ever seen. If I don't dare you, I'll ask you nicely to go onto your morph market calculator and to punch in all the genes that I'm going to tell you now, and see if you can find one of these snakes on morph market for sale. Here we go. Write these genes down. See if you can find one. This is a pastel spot nose pinstripe desert ghost 100% het hypo. Okay, that's what this boy is. Go anywhere in the world and see if you can find one. I'm not saying he's the only one in the world, because he's not. I bought him from a South African breeder that has them. He's not selling them though. He sold it to me because he's a friend of mine, and he's just an all right, genuine guy. In fact, he's one of the top. He's a small breeder, but he produces the tip of the sword snakes. I'm actually going to give him a shout out. His name is Michael Jones from Jones Boys. That is, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best breeders in South Africa when it comes to the desert ghost gene. That boy, that man, that guy, that mate of mine, I call him, I was saying that boy because he calls himself Jones Boys, two brothers. But Michael Jones sold me this boy here, and he also sold me, and I can't get to her tub right now, a female visual spot nose hypo 100% het desert ghost. This boy here is planned for the 2023 breeding season. Okay, he is still a juvenile, a yearling. He is not up to weight. I haven't weighed him for a long time, but I guarantee you he is under 500 grams. As a matter of interest, I think what I'll do is I'll actually just weigh him. Why not? No time like the present. Let's weigh this boy and see what we got here. But let's make sure that we are on the right. Okay, let's see how much this boy weighs at the moment. 409 grams. That's pretty cool. So he's kind of like 90 grams away from being breeding ready, but I would never breed this male, not even when he hits 500 grams. Not a chance, not this season, not a chance, not a snake of this caliber. There's no way, there's no amount of money, there's no risk that I would take to take a snake, because males will go off food. If he had to hit the 500 gram mark before the season was out, I would not pair him. When I pair this boy next year, he's going to be close to the 1,000 gram mark, because he is going to be going to numerous females. And a male will literally breed himself to death. They will go off food and they will breed themselves to death. They will not eat. And your males are smaller than your females. And that male there, in 3 years' time, is going to be paired up with the offspring of all the 100% het desert ghosts that I'm busy breeding. That male single gene desert ghost is in the blue. I'm not going to pull him out now. I've got a whole bunch of other snakes here with all different genes. The different genes are Enchi, Butter, Spider, as I said, Super Pastel, Fire, Butter, Fire, Leopard, Genetic Stripe, Yellow Belly. Then he's also going to be pairing to the 200% het, the Pastel Bamboo Desert Ghost females. Let me pull out one of them for you. I'm going to pull out the one that has just hit the 1500 gram mark, okay? Alright, she's just hit 1500 grams. I thought she wasn't going to be paired this season. I thought that there was going to be no chance of me pairing her this season, but she's hit the 1500 gram mark. Let's hope. Let me now it's switched off. Let's see. I haven't actually weighed her for a while. Let's see what she's weighing. 1490. Okay, maybe she had a poop. Alright, so this is a Pastel Bamboo 100% het Desert Ghost. She is currently breeding to a single gene visual Desert Ghost, and she is one of the females that we are pairing up to produce Pastel Bamboo Desert Ghosts. If I hit the odds. Let's pull out her sister, who is heavier and bigger than her, and she's building. She is grumpy. Okay, you see she's a lot bigger, she's a lot fatter, she's a bit more shy. Identical snake, they're sisters, they came from the same clutch, they're 2.5 years old. Oh, come on, girlie. I don't want to do this to you. I don't, but let me just, I just want to weigh you. Oh no, now it's zeroed itself. Don't zero. Why do you do that? I'm trying to make a video here. Okay. So, these are the only 2 adult female desert, 100% het Desert Ghosts that I've got. The others are juveniles, okay? So, I'm trying to hold her in a way that... Oh, come on. I'm pretty sure I'm going to take a tag here. I have to be honest with you. There we go. Okay. Right. 1,801. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Visual Pastel Bamboo 100% het for Desert Ghost. Alright. That male that I pulled out now, he'll be pairing to these females next year. So now, can you imagine thrown in the mix there? Visual Pastel, Visual Bamboo, Visual Pinstripe, Visual Spot Nose, Desert Ghost, and they'll be 50% het Harpo because he's 100% het Harpo. Obviously, not all of those females, not all of those genes are going to get passed on. I mean, the odds of that happening are just flipping ridiculous. Okay, well, let's end off with that, shall we not? Should we see what we get if we pair that male? Okay, Spot Nose, Pastel. I'm actually doing, I haven't done this yet. So Pastel, Spot Nose, Pinstripe, Desert, Ghost, Het, Harpo. Okay, and we're gonna add it. We're gonna see what we'll get if we pair them up to one of those females, which is a Pastel, Bamboo, Het Desert Ghost. "48 possible offspring." 48 possible offspring, okay, guys. And out of the 48 possible offspring, and I promise you I'm not going to go through them all, there's only 3 here where it's highlighted in blue. And if you know how Morph Market Calculator works, if the gene is there in blue and you click on it, you can see a visual of it, okay? So 48 possible offspring, okay? The jackpot of this whole thing here is an H gene snake, which is a 1 in 64 chance, 2%. In my case, it doubles because it's a 1 in 32 chance and a 4% because I've got 2 of those females. Super pastel, bamboo, pinstripe, spot nose, desert ghost, 50% hit harpo. Okay, super pastel counts as 2 genes. 2, 3, 4, 5. Why does it say 8 traits? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know why it says 8, but anyway. Then you've got your. Okay, I'm not gonna bore you with the rest. Okay, let's just go with the visual desert ghost that we could prove out of that. Let's forget the heads. Okay, so the visual desert ghost, the top one would be a super pastel bamboo pinstripe spot nose desert ghost. The next one would be a visual bamboo pastel pinstripe desert ghost. The next one would be a super pastel pinstripe spot nose desert ghost. The next one would be a super pastel bamboo pinstripe desert ghost, or a super pastel bamboo spot nose desert ghost. Okay, almost done. A bamboo pinstripe spot nose desert ghost, or a super pastel pinstripe desert ghost, a super pastel spot nose desert ghost, or a super pastel bamboo desert ghost. And then the rest they will be visual desert ghosts, but now we're going into pinstripe spot nose desert ghost, bamboo pinstripe desert ghost, bamboo spot nose desert ghost, super pastel desert ghost, pastel desert ghost, pinstripe desert ghost, spot nose desert ghost, bamboo desert ghost, and then or just desert ghost. All of them will of course be 100% het harpo. Anything that isn't visual desert ghost will be 100% het desert ghost. Okay, so guys, that is a mouthful. That is ridiculous. The odds of hitting that. That's why the more females you've got to pair up to a male like that, the better. Okay. Now those are just on those 2 females. That male is going to go with all of the female offspring that are 100% het desert ghosts for 7 of the females that are in this thing, in this collection here. So those are snakes that are going to breed for me in the winter of 2026. 2025. Okay, so whatever females that I produce, visual or 100%, or all the 100% het desert ghost females that live, survive, that I produce, if whatever of these females go, all of the female 100% hets in winter of 2025 will be breeding to that male there. That's how far in advance I'm looking at my breeding projects. Okay, this one here, where it's a yellow belly genetic stripe, I have to first produce a desert ghost visual genetic stripe. Okay, and I then have to pair that visual genetic stripe desert ghost, or all these babies here will be 100% het genetic stripe, 100% het desert ghost, and 50% of them will be yellow belly. The only way forward, unless I buy a visual desert ghost 100% het genetic stripe, or a genetic stripe 100% het desert ghost, to pair with the offspring, whether it be a male or a female, the only other way to do it without buying any more snakes is to take all of those babies and wait out the 3 years until the females are breeding ready, and then take the males, like let's say I have 8 eggs from that female, and let's say in a perfect world you get 2 males and 6 females. I'll take the one male and pair him with 3 females, and the other male and pair him with the other 3 females. And they'll be 100% double hets to 100% double hets. And we hopefully, out of those clutches, we can get a visual or 2 or 3 or 4. Let's not get greedy now. Visual genetic stripe, desert ghost genetic stripe, and even maybe yellow belly genetic stripe, desert ghost. And on that note, guys, while I'm dreaming and I'm on a high and I'm full of possibilities and what I can produce in the future with what I've got, and guys, I have hardly even touched the tip of the iceberg on my collection of snakes here. I have just spoken about just very, very few genes here. Exantic, desert ghost, and pied. and some lavender albino. I mean, we've got other snakes in my collection here that are going to be for another video, otherwise I'll run out of content, and I'm sure you guys are tired of listening to me ramble on now. So on that note, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please hit like and subscribe. And I try and do a video once a week. If you've got any questions, please comment in the section below. Ask me anything you want. I've done shout outs for people before. This is a shout out. Yes, let me give a shout out. Okay, because last video that I did, I gave a shout out to a guy by the name of Luke. Someone asked me to do, my last video that I uploaded to YouTube was on the clown gene. It was one of my subscribers that had asked me to please do a video on the clown gene and all the possibilities and the best combinations to breed. So go back and scroll back in my videos and you can watch that video. It's there. It'll be the one before this. And one of my subscribers asked me to do that video for him. And when I did the video, I get so many phone calls, so many WhatsApp messages, so many requests. Guys asking me to do stuff. I actually gave a shout out to the wrong person, to the wrong subscriber. Both of these guys, I gave a shout out to a guy by the name of Luke. Luke is a client of mine. Luke has actually bought a snake from me. It's sitting in one of those tubs over there. It's a male bamboo leopard spider. But the video was requested by another aspiring ball python breeder who subscribes to this channel, and his name is Xander, and he owns Slithermania. Now there is a Slithermania in America, but there's also a Slithermania here in South Africa. Okay, now Xander is the guy that asked me to do the previous video, and I gave a shout out to Luke. Apologies, Xander. But when I spoke to Xander on the phone the other day, I said to him, "Bud, I'm sorry, I gave a shout out to the wrong person. What is a topic that you want me to talk about? And I'll do another video and I'll give you a shout out on the video." And he said to me, "Talk about bamboo and please talk about the hypo gene," which is kind of what I've done because that male has got hypo in it. So Xander, especially for you, what you're going to see now, asking me for bamboo. You saw all the bamboo projects here. I'm going to end off this video especially for you, Xander. I'm going to show you the hypo project, that male desert ghost that I pulled out for you because he's 100% head hypo. I'm going to show you 3 hypo females, 1, 2, 3 or 4 hypo females that he's going to breed with. 3 of them are going to be next year. Okay, this girl here, this is a sub-adult hypo, single gene hypo recessive female. Okay, she is going to pair to that pastel spot nose pinstripe desert ghost 100% head hypo. Okay, so that's not the hypo gene, that's hypo. All right, he is also going to pair to this exact same snake, identical hypo, but this is an adult proven breeder, 7 years old. She is currently pairing to a blackhead pinstripe 100% head hypo male, but next year she will breed to that desert ghost, being 100%, her being a visual hypo and him being 100% head hypo. And then next year he's going to breed to this one, which I absolutely love. This snake is an absolute stunner. She's an absolute winner. This is a visual pinstripe hypo. Just look at that snake. Visual, the dominant gene being pinstripe, hypo being recessive. Okay, so Xander, I'm going to pair that desert ghost to those females next year. Okay, and hopefully produce. None of the snakes will be visual desert ghosts, but hopefully we'll have visual hypos, and they'll all be 100% head desert ghosts. And then in the 2024 season, next to him, in a tub next to him, there's a visual spot nose, visual hypo, 100% head desert ghost female, and that female will breed to that male in the year 2024 if she's ready. If not, then it'll be 2025, but I guarantee it'll be 2024. So on that note, shout out to Slithermania20. That's his handle on Instagram. in South Africa. Go give him a follow. He's an aspiring new ball python breeder, and this shout out was especially for him. Guys, on that note, take it easy. Have a great season, and we'll catch you on the next video. Cheers from me, Cole, North Coast Constrictors.